Or so he says.
We won't ask him to prove it.
Hi, I'm Gina. I've been a bookkeeper for 25 years.
Okay, we are now live and well. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Ham Radio TV and this month's VVRC monthly meeting, which I'd like to say will be our last one online. So go ahead, take it away, Frank.
Okay, so we'll just get rocking and call this club meeting to order. Getty here. This is the radio dog, Kevin. Getty Legaray is with me. But we'll go ahead and call it to order. It looks like it's 7:03. And I put the flag behind me so we can all say the Pledge of Allegiance. Are you ready, guys?
I'm ready.
Okay, ready? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
And
to the republic
for which it
stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Kevin, we're supposed to say that all together, not an echo.
Well, you know, I tried to do it together, but the audio was. I'm sorry. Here, let me make an adjustment. Is that better?
Sounds good.
Okay.
All right. So we're here at the club meeting. So field day it is. That's what we get to chat about today. So, Kevin, why don't you be the director of ceremonies as far as who's going to go first, second, third?
Well, today or tonight is really all about field day coming up the last weekend in June. And just so everybody knows, it's going to be at my place out in the couple acres next door to my house at the N6 VLF QTH. And you can look that up on QRZ. And it'll give you a map right to it. And our people that are helping us out this year, Frank, is our camp cook. He's going to be taking care of the food on Saturday. So if you got a question about the food, but there shouldn't be too much questions about it because Frank's going to just take care of it for us, man. He's awesome. And then sitting next to Frank there is Bob Hopkins. He's our safety coordinator and all-around nice guy. So he'll be helping us out with that. And he's going to have a presentation here briefly. And then Jason, there at the top left-hand side of the screen, he is our campsite coordinator and the ham radio TV operator. So we're going to have a lot going on that day. So I think what I want to do is, first, that was a good question. Are we going to take questions on the group chat? Or are we going to let people into? I don't remember how we decided to do that.
Yeah, so like most meetings, the chat is up. I'm monitoring that. And then once we pass out the information, let's call it a half hour or what have you, we'll go ahead and drop a link into the chat, which people can then click on and join the Zoom.
All right. Looks like we got about 25 people watching, so that's really good. So I think what we're going to do is the stuff that I have to say about field day is really simple. It's going to be at my place again. It's going to be, we're going to set up on, allow you to set up Friday afternoon, spend the night. If you've reserved your camping spot, we'll be here all day Saturday. Visitors will be welcome. You do not have to be a club member to be a visitor. You can come by and check it out, hang out with the guys and gals and have fun. Saturday night, the campers that were here will be operating at night. If you are a visitor and you show up in the afternoon and say, wow, this is the best thing since sliced bread, and you wind up staying until 2 o'clock in the morning because you're FT8ing with Brian, or you're CWing with Don, or you're just, if you're with me, we're probably drinking a soda and eating a hot dog. So that's all okay too. So, and then it'll be over on Sunday morning. And officially it's over at 11 a.m., but we usually have a quick breakfast and clean up and go home. And for those of you that are attending, just so you know, there will be, the club is providing a sanitary porta potty bathroom that is handicapped accessible. And next to it is a wash sink with soap and water. And it's fresh water, so it is palatable, and you can, did I say palatable? Anyway, it's good water. And you can wash your hands and be safe. Everybody's invited. If you're going to come, please come and do what makes you feel comfortable, which can include a mask, gloves, distancing yourself, or if you don't want to wear a mask and you don't want to wear gloves and you just want to stand back and watch, that's okay too. Please do what's comfortable for you. And if you show up and you're wearing a mask and the person 10 feet away is not, that was their choice, and it's okay with us for both of you. So do what's comfortable for you and be safe, okay? We're supplying what we can in the form of a sanitary environment to wash your hands and hygiene. We'll be there. Let's do this. Let's talk about, I think we should just switch over to Jason, because I've had a few questions from some members. What time can the camp people show up on Friday? How do I sign up? How many people get to talk on the ham radio at the same time? And we're going to be going into that a little more detail, but briefly, those of you who are signing up for camping, those of you who are signing up to participate and possibly bring a portion of your station or all of it on for Saturday, Jason will be putting together a chart so that we operate on the bands alternately, because we can't have 3 people on 20 meters at the same time or 80 meters, and we can't have, for example, Jason sets up his station. He's doing a YouTube demonstration, and he's on 40 meters in the middle of the day, and then maybe Bruce's rig is 30 feet to his left, and Bruce decides to get on 40 meters and starts transmitting, just a few kilohertz away because he doesn't know what Jason's doing, and just blast him out. So those are the kind of things that we want to avoid. So there will be a little bit of organization in that area, but trust me, you're going to get plenty of time to operate. And just so you know, if you show up without gear, there will be radios there. Some of the operators will be happy to let you talk on their radios. We just ask that you ask permission first and make sure they're comfortable with it. There will be those that are, and there may be a couple that aren't, but don't worry. We have plenty of radio gear, plenty of microphones, and plenty of sanitary wipes to wipe down the microphones and the code keys as well. So that'll be available to you. But the where to park and the operating schedule will be Jason, Cam6FAK, and so you don't trip on the way to that station. That's Bob Hopkins. So he will follow you around with a yellow caution tape. I'm pretty sure that's what we plan on doing. Go ahead, Jason.
Okay, thanks, Kevin. Yeah, so let me just start off with this. I've prepared a few screens. I'm just gonna get them into view. So kind of exciting stuff. This year we do appear on the ARRL.org /Field Day Locator, and as you can see here on my screen, is we've got a map.
We don't see your screen here.
Oh, you don't see it on Zoom, right? You don't.
No, and that's okay if you don't want us to see it, or.
I think I can do that.
I'm watching Zoom and YouTube at the same time.
Let's just share this screen. Okay.
Oh man! Look
How
at
about
this.
now, boys? Can you see it there in Zoom?
Yep.
Okay, good.
Got it.
So everyone gets to play. Yeah, so like I said, way cool stuff. We appear on the map, and kind of here is a map to give you an idea of all the pin drops out there that have already registered their site. So you can tell, not a lot going on. I'm actually pretty impressed with some of the San Francisco, but you can see Contra Costa is just about blank. And then we're up here representing Solano pretty hard. So, and Sacramento is also looking pretty scarce. We are 2 weeks away, so maybe that could change still. But we're there, so I'm kind of expecting some strangers. I'm guessing strangers with call signs, and we like them too. The next picture I prepared is this little guy. So I quickly flew over to Kevin's house the other day, and I snapped this picture. So what we're looking at is the field. So the best way to look up Kevin's address is look him up on QRZ, N6VLF. And that address will drop you here into this beautiful house and yard. And this here is called Olive Road. And then you're going to turn down this gravel road driveway, and then you're going to make it down into here. And this is where field day is. So please try to get to this area and leave, everybody else alone. If you're in an RV or motorhome, slow down as you come down this road towards the end, because there really is not a spot to turn around. You probably will have to back up. So anyways, here's our entrance way right here. I've got the purple dot is for where the porta potty is going to go, which is the same as last year. And then you can see visitor parking there. Kevin, is that viable visitor parking space, or is there any big ditches or dips?
No, that's actually the exactly where it's going to be. And we will also have a little bit, there'll be a little bit of extra. The only thing we got to be careful about is you see where we have K6CWS and the Geek and KK6BXP right there. We need to make sure that those trailers, in case somebody wants to come get one, they can pull out.
Yes, I actually purposely put those are I have pickups down here in the Legend, but essentially they're
Gotcha.
trucks, and they should be able to turn their key and move very quickly. That's why I did not park a recreational vehicle there, with the exception of CWS. So as you can see here on the map, I kind of ran out of room, which is a great problem to have. I'm trying to keep us a little bit closer this year than last year.
Gotcha.
What's that?
I said, very good, thank you.
Okay, yeah. And so for the most part, I put in consideration of people having motorhomes or trailers. So I know BXZ is in a trailer. He'll be able to put it right here on the end and then leave. Same thing with KCADD. And this is going to be your typical, your passenger side is going to go inside the circle here, because that's where your door is, that's where your awning is, etc. And then I did move our kitchen slightly. Before it was running, I don't have a legend for north or south, but anyways, I have it kind of vertical on the screen. Oh no, north is up. So I have it north to south, running there about in the middle. And what I'm going to ask is for everyone to get as close and tight as possible, very safe, not like inches, a few feet or two, because what I want to do is I want to put all the antennas on the outside. Last year we had a whole lot of stuff going on. I'm guilty of that, but I want to keep all of our antennas and guide wires and trailers just out of the center. The idea is I do suspect more people are going to come. We can bebop and visit around with everyone. So that's the intent of trying to suck in this circle a little smaller, is we'll be able to land all of our antennas and then just run our coax underneath our rigs. KI6UXE on his notes is bringing a trailer. So I kind of put him here. I'm not sure of overall length. These are somewhat to scale, roughly 28 feet long to scale. I was able to use other RVs in the picture to develop the scale, so it worked out pretty nice. Anyone here in the Zoom meeting does have any questions on what you see?
No, that looks cool. Good job.
Okay.
Hey, does your spacing include the tow vehicle for the trailers?
So I believe everyone disconnects their tow vehicle, right?
No, usually everybody stays hooked up. That's why I asked.
Yeah.
I know Doug stayed connected. I stayed connected. I think BQX disconnected because he needed to do some running around. But
now BQX, I believe, has a Class B. So I believe Doug and yourself are the only ones with trailers.
Okay.
Other than,
well, then I could fit there because the rig can stick behind Doug.
Yeah. So and the idea is this is a rough draft. I asked everyone in an email today. Yeah, Art says he's got a Class B, so he's not bringing what he had last year. So he's going to be a lot smaller. I see him there in the YouTube comments.
Okay.
If we do a rough lay down, that's fine. I'm going to email this out to everyone. I just wanted to show everyone first and then give it till Sunday in case there's any add-ons. And then it's going to be kind of concreted down, because what happens if more people add, we're going to have to go to a traditional RV park, and that's kind of like everyone goes in slanted, and the person 3 RVs down, you're really not going to have any ability to see them other than walking over and talking. So I really like kind of circling the wagon wheels there. And let me bring up another sheet. And so hopefully everything's big enough to see. So here's the spreadsheet I've been building, and I've been collecting people that say they're coming, people that are bringing radios, people that are bringing their RVs or pickup trucks. Looks like Cliff has a pickup, not an RV, so that would be 3 pickups along the gravel road. So that should be fine. And let's see that. Okay, that's covered. And let me bring you guys back. Let me stop sharing screen. All right, everyone's back. Yeah, so we don't have a set time for everyone to get there on Friday. I think Bob is going to be possibly the earliest. It would be great if everyone showed up, afternoon, somewhere 1, 2, 3, 4. You're going to see a lot of the work happening 4, 5, 6. If other people that are not camping would like to come out and help, by all means, you can come out. Friday evening, we're going to be getting everything parked. We're going to be starting figuring out where to put our antennas. I'm also going to talk to everyone about what they're building and what bands they can operate on. In my spreadsheet there, people gave me several bands they can operate on, which is great. And I kind of know how it is. Sometimes you get there, something's not working, it's not quite tuned. So I want to capture a band plan in place. So by Friday night, I'll have an idea where everyone will be. And then Saturday morning before 11 a.m., we'll have a driver's meeting, and then we'll talk about who's going to operate around what time frames. And I thought about, does anyone have an easel with large pieces of paper? I think we had one last year, but I was thinking that'd be great to have, or maybe I'll just tape some paper on my RV.
Yeah, last year we had somebody brought a little whiteboard that we used to kind of sketch out who was doing what band. Does anybody remember who brought that whiteboard?
No, it might have been me. I just don't remember. I'll look around, see if I can find it.
Yeah, so what I might just do is get some pieces of paper and kind of stick them to the side of my RV, because we do want to generate some kind of center point. So when people come in, I would like everyone. See, I don't know if I'm going to be the greatest place for a check-in, and we'll figure that out Friday. That's kind of part of the fun when we get there. We'll kind of hammer out some of those details, because I am going to float a little bit. Shoot some video, but I do want to make sure we say hello to everyone. It'd be really cool. And Bob, do you have a log or some pieces of paper? It'd be great to capture everyone's call sign and name that shows up and says hello.
Yeah, so, and I was going to mention that since for what I'm doing on the operating side, the 2-meter digital doesn't take that long. So I'll try to track guests and visitors, guests and members separately. I've got login sheets, but trying to keep from people sharing pens and that sort of stuff given the current situation. So I will stand in the center tent area and try to capture people as they come in.
Yeah, and I think I have some caution tape. So what I might do is I might create a bit of a funnel so everyone comes in. And by the way, Don's in the chat. INR, he said he brought that last time, and he is more than willing to bring it this time. So
Perfect.
So that is
Thanks,
very
Don.
cool.
Thank you, Don.
Yeah, so Bob, I got you right here, which almost faces the entranceway. So what I might do is do some creative caution tape work to try to funnel everyone. You guys can't see. People on YouTube can see, but my friends here on Zoom can't see.
So I think what happened last year is folks are going to gravitate to the tent, and we'll put the club banner up there.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and we can have a table near the banner, where folks can kind of come in the gap. The gap between. I think that's BQX, and then I can't see the rig on the end.
WG5EEK.
Oh, Mike. All right. Yeah, so they could come right in through there.
Right.
And, we can just hang out at the end of the tent, capture people as they come in.
Because, it'll be very... The idea of the caution tape is I want to get vehicles a good identifier for people to park here. And
Right.
ideally, I would park perpendicular to the road. So, north to south. And then I want to be
Right.
able to give room for Doug and Art to get their antennas behind their RVs, because that's going to be, close to the cars, and make sure everything's guided down very good. We don't want to test out our insurance.
So what we did last year is right where you've got visitor parking, we put fence posts and flagging across that whole area to kind of create that parking space you're describing.
Great.
And then ran flagging down kind of from the corner of the street to the outhouse so that folks didn't drive off that direction. And I think it just naturally funneled them right into that. So we'll work on that Friday.
Right. We did that. And then if you looking at the visitor parking, the orange visitor parking, look straight up, which would be north. I'm pretty sure I have permission, and I'm going to double check we can have more cars parked nose in on both sides. In other words, we can put cars there and have them nose in on the other side of the road, walk across the road and come in. And then last year, if you look to the left of the visitor parking, the orange visitor parking, we ran the yellow caution tape and the fence post about another 100 feet. So we have approximately 300 feet of parking. From Jason, if you take your pointer and go up to the top to the rock road, okay, go other way, right, keep going, right about there. Okay, stop. You need to stop. So from that area there, from just about the width of that going east-west, about 200 feet, they were allowed to park there as well. So it'll be clearly marked. And just as Bob said, it'll naturally funnel people because we want them to walk that direction and be able to park comfortably and be able to back out and get out easily. And if they do that, they will be able to.
Yeah, and we might... last year, did we barricade the road once all the campers were in?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we did. We made a walk through. We had a little funky gate, and we controlled who drove. Because what we don't want is folks, and looks like we got about 37 viewers, so that's great. We don't want people to bring their personal vehicles and drive into where all the folks are hanging out. Because it's a lot of pedestrian traffic once you get past that gate. I mean, we could have as many as 30, 35 people roaming around there pretty easily.
Yeah, and I think obviously we can accommodate anybody who's got accessibility issues, but just let us know.
Let us know.
Not to mention the
And
dust.
we'll get you in there.
Wait, I actually have, if somebody shows up and has to have accessibility issue, let's say they have a vehicle that has a electric, hydraulic, a ramp of some sort, there's another entrance and exit that's not on the map that if we need to, we'll bring you in. And we'll have our two-way. We are a ham radio club, right? So will we have our radios on? So we will be on a comm channel, and we will be able to direct you. So once you get into there, just ask somebody. If you don't know what to do, ask, and we will do our absolute best to accommodate you.
Yeah. And Don in the chat asked, how many vehicles do you think we can park?
Probably between, off the top of my head, 25 to 35 pretty easily.
Okay.
Maybe I could probably squeeze more in. I've asked one of my neighbors if we have overflow. And last time they told me yes. I'm asking again, and I've also got a little bit of, if push comes to shove, some of our club members, people that kind of know us and know my place. There's a couple areas we might be able to ask a few of our people to park a little further away, because if you notice that orange parking area, that's super close. I mean, literally, you only have to walk about 50, 60 feet, and you're in the heart of what we're doing. So if you get there and we notice that it's getting full, we'll probably ask some of our club members and close friends to park. There's a spot that we normally don't open up over on the other side of the trees, and we'll let you guys park there to free up for our guests. Because if we wind up, at 2:00 in the afternoon with 50 cars out there, we can do it. We just have to be careful.
Yeah. Can anyone drive a shuttle bus?
We have a lawn tractor and a small trailer. Okay, it's kind of a no hay ride.
So let's kick it over to Bob, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm going to email everyone the link to Zoom, and then I'll wait 15 minutes, and then I'll throw it on YouTube. The reason being is right now, because there's going to be some questions for Field Day, I just want people from the club at first to join us, and then we can post it on YouTube. So everyone in the club, look out for your email the next 5 minutes for the Zoom invite. So go ahead, Bob.
So do you want to, can I share my screen?
You can. It should work.
Yes. Just send us
All right.
a dollar.
There you go. Let's see. What do I want to share?
We don't
Right
see
there.
it quite yet, Bob.
It should be coming. Share.
We see it.
Is it coming? Is it coming over there?
Looking good.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, are you getting the slide view or are you getting the full screen?
We're getting the full screen like I was going to edit the slideshow. Do you want to hit the play button or something of that
Yeah,
nature?
let me hit the F5 here. See if I can. There we go.
Aha. Looking
All right.
good.
So, hey, I think it's great. A lot of the operators I saw on the list have a lot of experience doing field day, but we're up to 80 some odd members, and there's probably quite a few new folks. I just thought I'd go through the basics as to what field day is all about. Because it is sponsored by the ARRL. It's we're going to talk about who can operate, the rules, the points, the whole bit. Because in addition to doing safety, I'm also the guy that keeps the logs and turns in the score, because it's not just an operating event, it's also a contest. So the idea is to operate in the field off the grid as if we were preparing for an emergency. The contest part is, of course, making as many contacts as you can, and then we have to submit this package, and then we end up coming out in the December issue of the QST magazine, all sponsored by the ARRL. So anybody can operate. You can see in this picture, this is back, probably 3, 4, maybe 4 field days ago. I just gotten my technician license. I was sitting next to N6THN, who's an extra class, and I was able to operate as a technician under Bruce as a control operator. So the FCC rules always apply, but if you're new to ham radio and you're just a technician, you can operate if folks are willing to share their equipment. It's a lot of fun to see what folks have got to operate with and all the different modes that are out there. So we can operate for 24 hours starting at 11 a.m. on Saturday. You can do all the bands 6 meters and above in all the modes. And then below 6 meters, it's limited to the 10, 15, 20, 40, 80, and 160. So you'll notice 12, 17, 30, and 60 meters are not included. They call those the work bands, and they're not part of field day. As I said, we could do CW, digital, and phone. And the idea is to exchange information. So it's a kind of a different contest call, but you basically share your station, and we're W6VVR, or Whiskey 6 Victor Victor Romeo. 3 Alpha stands for the number of radios that we have that can operate, and Alpha is the class, the station that we're at. And East Bay is the ARRL section that we're in. So when you're out there operating, we'll count up all the radios that can operate at one time, and that's going to be our designator. You can count a contact once per band per mode. So Jason could hit somebody on FT8, Don could get them on CW. Somebody could contact that same station on voice, all on 40 meters. Counts as 3 contacts. The key for us is, like I said, we're Class A club portable, operating on emergency power less than 150 watts. And that allows us to double our points. The other different part about this as a contest is that there's all kinds of bonus points. All right, so we get a bonus for emergency power. We get a bonus for all the stuff Jason does on social media. We get a bonus for doing digital messages. We get a bonus when somebody copies down the W1AW field day message, and we had a couple folks did that last year. So there's all different ways to get bonus points, and it all helps go towards our score. So I run around trying to keep track, making sure if somebody's doing something worthy of a bonus point that I can document it for our package. The one thing I really want to stress is that when you come with your radio, make sure you have your radio, a power supply, and an antenna. Because if you don't have one of those 3 pieces, you may not be able to get to operate. So if you're missing something, I would say if you're missing something when you show up, you're at the mercy of the green van, right, Kevin?
Yes. Yes.
So it helps to plan ahead, make sure, your power supply can be a generator, it can be a battery, it can be a combination of solar and batteries, but it has to be something other than commercial power. And then Jason's already kind of lined out the whole thing on sharing the bands, so there'll be plenty of time to operate. We've never had a problem sharing. So here's a thing I wanted to emphasize for folks that may not want to participate with the conclave that we got going here. They changed the rules this year, so you can operate from home on commercial power, and you can count every contact that you make. So it used to be, if you were home on commercial power, you could only talk to other home stations. So that's been changed. Your points will count, or all the contacts will count. You can also operate at home on emergency power. So you could take your radio out on your patio, hook your battery up to it, throw your antenna in a tree, and you'd be a Class E station. So the great thing this year is that if you operate at home, when you can turn in an individual entry, and you can name our club, our call sign W6VVR, and the Vaca Valley Radio Club, and your points will count towards our club entry. So that's something they're doing for the COVID-19. And if there's any questions on that, let me know, and I can help anybody with entry. I can help you with your logging. It's a real simple. You don't have to have a computer log. You just have to have a worksheet that shows that you didn't have any duplicate call signs. And I can help anybody who's interested in doing that. I can help you with that. The other thing I did want to mention, based on the Solano County order, I've heard a little bit of discussion. Since we are outside, and since we're an organization, this is probably considered a low-risk activity. And so all the things that are in the county order are very basic. Kevin already covered most of them. If you're not feeling well, don't come, right? This is stuff you hear all the time. We're going to practice social distancing. If you have a face cover, that's great. They're strongly recommended in Solano County. They are not required. But that's kind of a personal choice. And if you don't have a face cover and you're within 6 feet of me, I might back up a little bit. That's just me. All the other stuff that you hear, wash your hands. We're going to have potable water with an area to wash your hands as much as you'd want. Again, don't touch your face, sanitize stuff. If it's common surfaces, we can do things to minimize the amount of common contact, and don't share things. And the biggest thing, don't stand around singing Kumbaya. Those are the types of things that spread the germs. So that's all I had, Jason. I just wanted to go through some of that stuff really quick so folks that might not have experience with field day would get an idea of, what the end game here is. So when we wrap it up, folks turn their contact logs into me. I run it into the logging program, and then I submit our package to the ARRL. And usually by July, I think it's due towards the end of July. And then it takes a month to publish the results. So that's it.
People that are coming out as well, I would assume to log. If you've never logged using a computer, that can be challenging. But we are going to be there for the whole day. So if you have a laptop, bring it on out. We're going to have Wi-Fi. We'll have the ability to download some free programs and kind of try it out. I can show you. A few other people can show you about logging. Once you use a computer, I think it really opens the door, because from there you can push it over to Logbook of the World. You can push it over to QRZ, and for that matter, you can give it to poor old Bob digitally, and not just stacks of paper. So bring, or for that matter, there's smartphone apps, there's iPad apps. Actually, Mike there in the chat just reminded me of that. He does a lot of POTA. That's K8MRD radio. Does a lot of POTA, and he's big with an iPad. He uses a very old iPad. Great program. So if that's what you got, bring that. We can try out logging digitally for the first time. The people are coming in. The Zoom link is out in your email for club members. So I'm bringing in additional club members for additional questions, and then here in, I don't know, when we run out of questions, I'll launch it here on YouTube. If anyone out there on YouTube wants to jump in and say hello, remember to mute your. Jump in and say hello. I already have one person not doing it. Mute YouTube, please mute YouTube if you're in our Zoom and listen to us in Zoom. Otherwise, I will mute you. Don, would you like to say anything? Are you muted on YouTube?
Don is muted on Don.
I'm trying to mute on YouTube, and I can't do it. I don't know what to do. Mute on YouTube.
Okay, well, give us a thumbs up when you can figure that out. Let's see, who else do we have? We have a few more people in the waiting room. Come on in. I hope there was cookies for you while you were in the room. All right, here comes some Bruce. Here comes some more people from the club. And Bill. It's great to see everyone, I was kind of hoping for a June meeting to take place there at the airport where we normally meet, but we'll wait till July. Even though Solano is just about opened. I'm sure everyone got that email this week.
Okay, I muted on one side. I turned the speakers off. Does that mean the mic's off too?
No, you're sounding good, Don. Excellent.
Okay. Well, I'll bring the easel. I'll get some paper for it. Do we need masking tape, or we can have a place to post on the easel, Bob? How do you want to handle that?
I'll have tape. If you could bring the whiteboard and the whiteboard pens, that'll cover it.
So I should bring an easel pad with it?
Oh, if you've got paper, that's great too.
Okay, I'll bring both. All right.
But I'll have tape. I'll have plenty of tape.
We got a comment on one of the other one of our private chats here. One of our directors is informed us he has marking paint and caution tape. Got it. Cool. Thank you. That's
Bring it on.
Bring it on, brother.
I know I'm going to need some poles to put up some antennas. I also have a 20-meter beam and a rotor that I'd love to try to put up, but I don't have anything to raise, any tower or anything to raise it.
Remember to mute yourselves or mute YouTube, guys. So we don't have a echo delay going on.
All right. How about people that just joined us, thank you for joining us. Do you have any questions or comments about the field day or the map I showed?
Somebody still has their YouTube audio turned on, and if what we're talking about is you're hearing us on Zoom, and you're probably have your second screen or split screen. You're watching it on YouTube. Even if you're not, go to the YouTube screen and put your mouse over the screen, and at the bottom left-hand corner, you want to mute that little speaker. Okay? If you don't do that, the audio feeds back through, and it really sounds weird out here. Kind of space agey and stuff. Echoey. Sounds better now. Nice and clean. I think we got it. I'm just gonna if it does it again, I'm just gonna blame it on Bruce.
Okay, audio check. This is Bruce with audio check. This is Bruce with audio check. Oh. I've only got one source of audio.
All right, Bruce, that might not have been you. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I already previously and shut off the YouTube audio, so I'm only running Zoom audio. And hello, everybody in the Field Day group. And a great meeting. My wife has double booked me on this Saturday, and I will be doing a partial field day as much as I can from home, but I want to support the club. So I'll just do my tally sheets and turn them in as part of Whiskey 6 Victor Victor Radio. And
So Bruce?
Go ahead, Bob.
Yeah, so there was just something that came out from the ARRL today. And so you'll have to do a separate entry and then under your call sign and then identify the club, and then those points will count towards ours. So they don't want folks operate, you know how they have the circle, you got to be within a certain amount of space. They haven't waived that rule. And it's pretty easy to submit an entry.
Right. So if you're going to do it from home, now would be the time to learn how to log digitally, because it'll be up to you to submit it.
I'll do my best. My wife just double booked me, and I would have been there at the field day site with you guys, but I'm just going to attempt it at home, and that way I won't interfere with you guys. Hopefully not very much, anyhow. Anybody else going to work from home?
Yeah, I think Jackie plans on working from home. I don't know if she's on tonight, but she was going to try to do some 2-meter simplex just for kicks.
Question.
Yes, Don.
Let's say I'm not spending the night, but during the day I may work at the field day location, but when I come home, if I want to get up at 2 a.m. or whatever, I don't know if this old man's going to be able to do it, but if I do, can I also log contacts from home?
Let me answer your question with a question. When you're at home, who's responsible for the log? You are. When you're at home, you're logging under KM6 INR and attaching Whiskey 6 VVR to it. When you're at field day, you're Whiskey 6 VVR. If you're physically at field day, that's all who you are, is Whiskey 6 VVR.
Yeah, that's a great point, Jason. If you're home, you're operating under your own call sign. So you can under the rules, Whiskey 6 VVR can only be from our location.
Yep.
So will the points count?
So you'll get an individual score, but your points, if you identify our club, can get appended into our points. So yeah, the answer is you can operate at home under KM6 INR, submit your own submit your own entry, and then your points will add into ours.
Okay, will someone show us, can we get some kind of information on the electronic logging so we can make it simple for you, Bob?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you the one I use is designed for field day, but I just looking at the chat, there's like a ton of different logging programs. So
yeah, I mean, for those that never have tried to log from home, you've got 2 weeks to kind of self-teach yourself. Unfortunately, it's not hard, but it's like eating an elephant. You just start at one end and you keep going. And so there's YouTube videos. There's a lot of free software out there. So if you're starting out practicing, you'll definitely have a better understanding. And by all means, there's a lot of videos you could just watch and just grab something. Like I said, you can use your phone, your tablet. But yeah, when you're at home, it's you and your log. So, Bob and the Whiskey 6 VVR gang physically in Fairfield don't need your log when you're at home.
So there's no way to link it to make it easier. I'm just trying to make your administrative work easier, Bob, by being able to type it in and link it to you.
Your home log wouldn't attach to our record, so that wouldn't help me.
Oh, that's
because you have to submit your log. Well, you don't even need to submit a log. You just need to submit what's called a duplication sheet, and that shows that you didn't duplicate any of the call signs. So, if you're only making 20 contacts, it's not hard. You don't have to do anything other than write them down on paper. If you're going to make 200 contacts, it's easier to log them.
Okay.
But I can send you the software I use. It's designed for field day. Jason's got stuff he uses with FT8. There's all kinds of stuff out there.
Okay.
Right now, my personal favorite free logger for a PC is called Log4OM. Log4OM. It's free. It's on a PC. And if you're on a Mac, I would use rumlogng. Also free. But there's 10, 20 different loggers out there.
Yeah, and so I use N3 EJP, and it automatically feeds it right into the ARRL. So they're what they call their web applet. That's the only reason I use it, because it's designed specifically for field day.
So if we're at field day, we're actually on the site. Can we type into that log so that you don't have to manually compile stuff or not?
So if you bring a digital device to field day, that would be a great time to show people how to use a computer, an iPad, what have you. And then once you utilize something electronic like that, all we need to send Bob is a ADIF or Cabrillo file. There's several files we can just export and give right to Bob, which that would make his life easier, yes, than just paper.
I have a question.
Okay, I got it. Okay.
You have to raise your hand if you have a question. Is that you, Kevin?
Yeah, yeah. I have a question and then a suggestion. If Bob and Jason, if you had to pick one logging software that you feel is user-friendly and that you are familiar with so you could help people with it, what would it be?
Log4OM if you're a PC user.
Bob Hopkins, unmute your microphone, and do you agree with that?
This is the only event I log, and I use the log that's designed for this event. So I'm really not in a position to recommend.
Okay.
But like Jason says, he's been able to export that Cabrillo file.
Well, my question, the reason I'm sorry to interrupt. The reason I'm doing this is I'm getting the feeling that there's a handful of people out there that have not done the digital logging, and that's fine. So what I'm going to highly recommend is download the software that Jason recommends so that all of us that show up are on the same software, doing the same thing and getting the same help. That way we don't wind up with 5, 10, 15 people with 3 or 4 different programs, and they're having to manipulate through it. So for field day, Jason,
I'm waiting for the
Just,
Got him.
just tell everybody what you would prefer. They download it. You guys download that program and then practice with it as best you can between now and then. So when you get here, we are not starting from zero. Because I got news for y'all. If you haven't been to a field day before and you get here on a Saturday and it's busy, it's fun, it's hectic, and you're going to want to know a little bit about your own stuff. You really are. I'm not going to be operating, for example, but I'm also not the right person to help you with the logging. I'll be there to help with your radio, your antenna, maybe put out a small fire, that kind of thing. But you need to be familiar with your equipment. Try to have everything that you want to work tested and ready to go. And we understand when you get there, you just tell, hey, man, I did this at my house 3 times and brought it over here and it doesn't work. That happens. But let's not bring a new radio, a new antenna, and a logging program that's never been turned on before, because it'll be difficult for our Elmers to have enough time to give you enough individual input to get you going. So that's a very long-winded thing, but I want everybody to have a great experience. So download it, practice it, be on the same page when we get here. How's that?
Yeah, and I think I've never done the logging during field day because, like you say, I'm too busy running around. So I usually take whatever folks give me and do it afterwards in a nice air-conditioned building. So, yeah, it is tough to learn stuff on field day other than how to operate a radio. That's what it's all about.
Yep. And if you're bringing a radio and it's new to you, read the instruction book, turn the knobs, and before you get there, and because there's a high probability there's somebody there that knows how to use your radio anyways. But, play with it before you get there.
Yeah, otherwise it'll be after 12 o'clock and you still don't have your antenna resident on the band you told everyone you'll operate. And that was kind of me last year. I mean, I just got the buddy pole up and out for the first time, talking to everyone. Before you know it, it was in the PM. So yes, manage your 2 weekends. One's upon us. We got one more, and then it's showtime.
Oh, yeah. Anybody? Don't everybody talk at once.
All right, the N6THN's got a question.
Go ahead. You have the floor.
It's for Jason and Bob or Kevin, but since I'm going to be at home and only partially operating partial hours during the day because of the other commitment I've got, is Bob's software the one that's direct to the ARRL for logging? Like I just keep it on my computer? Or is it super easy, Bob? Or Jason, is yours super easy? I've never run either of the Log4OM or N3EJP before.
So a Cabrillo file, which I struggle to say, is a glorified text file. In other words, all of these loggers will compile and spit out a text file. So there is no one master logger to rule them all. What we're submitting is a text file formatted a certain way. So all you got to do is send your file to Bob, and he'll be able to merge that into whatever he's using. It's actually it's fairly simple.
But not if he's operating from home.
Correct. If you're from home, you're from home. If you're at home, you are a at-home contest station. It is your contest. It's not the club's contest. The new exemption allows you to throw in your club's call sign, and then the ARRL will tally your home contest station with the club's station. So, when you're at home, it's you. You're on your island.
Yeah. And the program I'm using, Bruce, is pretty easy. I don't I don't do logging. And so, but there's very little retraining when I turn it on every year. It's pretty straightforward. It keeps track of the bands. It keeps track of ARRL sections. So it's pretty easy to use.
Thank you both for your answers, and
But-
I'm enjoying the virtual meeting.
But I
think
recommend
we're gonna have a great field day this year. Everybody's gun ho, and gonna be a lot of people there.
So Bruce, tomorrow morning when you wake up, instead of turning the cartoons on for Saturday morning, or no, tomorrow's Friday. So instead of Saturday morning cartoons, Google best ham radio logging software. You form your own opinion, then type in that piece of logging software, or you can take what I recommend and watch 5 YouTube videos on it, and you'll realize, it's just another piece of program, and you just kind of walk your way through it. You could even do a test, no contest. You could just think of 10 of your friends' call sign and pretend you're logging them as you sit there and just experiment. That is the hobby as a whole, right? Experimentation.
I got one more that opened up another question for me, because Bob put up a sheet of the points, and it's extra points for digital contacts, right, Bob?
That's correct. So if you're 2 points for digital, 2 points for CW, and then if you operate on emergency power, you get the double that.
So if I've got a 7300 and it has digital FT8 built into it with just a little software, is that going to be the winning ticket to knock them dead, shooting fish in a barrel? What do you guys think?
I don't know. You should ask Jason, the FT8 dude. See how he did.
All right. Because I've done voice every other year.
But it is digital.
So, so this is called a contest weekend, but is not a contest. There's actually 0 to win, just bragging rights in the December edition of QST. So really, I think this is just all about getting out there and experimenting with. I mean, even Winter Field Day was just so much fun socially than it was, and ours last year. Then really, I'm not that concerned about winning anything or making sure we get all the boxes checked. I'm just looking forward to seeing everyone, getting to experiment with what you're into or learning and looking at things you've never experienced before.
So, the thing, and I agree with Jason, it's not a contest. And we score far more points in bonus points than we do in contacts. But what I have enjoyed seeing over the last, I think we had 4 years now, this will be the 4th year I've been tracking and entering for the club. It's nice to see the points expand, because that means we've got more operators. That means we are making more contacts. We are coordinating and doing the bonus point stuff a little better, so that to me is what it shows. And yeah, we get a little bit of bragging rights in Solano County. I checked the East Bay scores. We're doing pretty good. Like 3rd or 4th out of the 13 clubs in the East Bay. So, rock on there, guys.
And let me do this. So the other thing that's really fun, we're kind of talking a little bit about logging. And one of these days, I'll bring it to a meeting so we can kind of unpack it more. Wait a minute. Stop sharing. I need to line up the right screen here. I want to line this screen up. And I got Bob picked. So, what you're looking at is QRZ, okay? So I'm going to go here to my name. And and if you're logging from home, you get, when you go to a field day or an organization, you don't get to collect any cool contacts. So from QRZ, I'm going to go over here to my call, to my logbook. And then I've been busy working FT8 and other things. And it shows me real quick, I have 593 QSOs, and you can scroll down and you can see all the countries. Lately, I've been doing a lot of FT8 on 40 meters. Japan, Cuba, Dominican Republic, South Korea, Argentina. And so this is all my log on QRZ. And talking about just collecting baseball cards and feeling proud. When you start creating logs at home, and then you're able to export them into different pieces of program like this. QRZ, I want to say, is pretty big. Here's a very fun map. I almost have worked all states. I'm just missing a few up here. And then if you ever go to people's... if I go to my page, I pop up, and you get kind of like merit badges of different things you've accomplished on primarily HF. And that to me is the real fun of logging. So I really do encourage everyone to take the next 2 weeks and figure out what logger you want and how to start collecting just all these call signs. It is quite remarkable.
Hey, Jason?
Yeah.
Can you produce the Cabrillo file from the QRZ log?
Ooh.
I noticed there was a list or a data, something up there on the top. That would be really cool, because I started using that a while back and I stopped using it, but that would be cool if we could.
You can log with QRZ. I don't do it. QRZ, you are on a browser, you're on the internet. Let me stop sharing. And it's a little clunky. The idea of QRZ and Logbook of the World is they are your baseball card album. That is not where you collect your baseball cards. That is where you put them. You're going to collect your baseball cards in the beginning in a logging software that doesn't need the internet. And a lot of times, the Log4OM, I plug a USB cable into the computer and it will follow the radio. So wherever the radio goes, it knows exactly what band and frequency I'm on, and all I'm doing is punching in their call sign. And depending on what you're using, you can also download databases where it starts guessing who they are and showing you their location and just really cool stuff.
It'd be nice to see a demo on that in our next event, a Zoom event.
No promises, but there is 100 of them on YouTube with people that know more than me, for sure.
I know. I'd just like to see us all on the same page.
Well, and that's the big difference between field day and then a contest. What Jason's talking about in terms of validating call signs, making sure you're actually talking to a real person. For us, there's no validation. If you write, Whiskey 6 Alpha Bravo Charlie and it's Alpha Bravo Delta in the real world, nobody cares. If you copied it down and you have a station class and a ARRL section, we get to count that. Versus some contests where they actually have to validate call signs. So big difference.
Can you email your PowerPoint to us?
Sure, I can. Yeah, I think I have access to the mail list.
Thanks.
What is everyone's thoughts? Anyone have any questions? Show of hands, who's coming to field day in this Zoom meeting? All right. Good to see those hands.
Question.
Nick, how come your hands isn't up?
I don't have a way down there right now. I have several excuses. Which one would you like?
I understand them all.
Okay.
Hey, Nick, are you going to log our points for us?
I'm going to try.
Okay.
From my understanding, there's no distance. I can I can just when I log it, I just claim our club call sign and I'm good to go, right?
Absolutely. You can do that up in Washington and then just identify us as your club of choice, and we'll get those points. That'd be cool.
Yeah. So I have to work that day, but that evening, whatever I do log, hopefully some of them will be contacts with you all. We'll see.
So if I do a 1 echo from home, does that bump up your 3 alpha to 4 alpha?
No, we'll count radios at the within our circle.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
And then you would be you'd be a 1 echo at home.
Yeah, I'm gonna run off battery and stuff. Okay.
I think how many radios you got now, Jason? Look like 8, 9, something like that.
8. I believe I'm at 8 radios that have emailed and confirmed with me.
Yeah, so we'll have to see how many can actually operate at the same time. And I'm going to bring I found a 900 megahertz radio, and I got a 1.2 gig radio. So that'll give us a couple extra. Simplex FM.
So I guess we have a few people here. Well, Doug's in the chat. I saw Doug. I see Cliff there. Cliff, what band do you think you can operate best on? Hold on, let me unmute you. Let me push this button. Uh-oh. He froze up. All right. Yeah, we'll probably be able to figure that out once we're there. But just to review, so I have myself with a full...
How about now? You got me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now, Cliff. What,
probably 40 and maybe 20. I've got a GVRP 5 mini, or junior.
Okay. And then so Doug is able to do 20, 40, 80. That was Cliff. I have Bob at 2 meter digital. I myself can cover 20, 40. Chris Brown is bringing a secret weapon, a vertical fan dipole. So we'll see where we put that. Art, BXQ Art is anywhere from 60 to 80. Art, do you have a preference where you'd like to be? Have you been tuning?
I can be almost any place. I'm also bringing a 160 dipole, so 160 meters. So that isn't even on the list, but it's on the field day list, but it isn't on our club list.
Okay. And Brian, BXP, you're doing 40? Uh-oh, you're muted, buddy. Gotcha.
There we go. So I'm bringing my 80 to 10, so I can do 40, but I also can do others. And if Mr. UPS gets here in time, I'll also have a 6 meter Yagi.
And then Arthur Miller, UXE, has 10, 15, 20. So that's a total of 8 radios I have so far down on the list.
Yeah, I'm also bringing a 2 meter 440 too, so I don't know. I can set it up. That's not a problem. But they all work all together.
I can swing a 220 machine.
Yeah. I think the higher band stuff is great because you're really not going to hurt the next guy. You know, if you want to do some calling CQ out there on Simplex, you're not really going to bother anybody. Dave McGee, you have your hand up. Do you have a question? I just looked up there. Where's Dave? Searching.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I've been drinking wine and I forgot now.
I see your hand was up. I was like, oh.
Yeah. So it's an operating question from home. So one of you mentioned that you use your regular call sign, but you attach the VVRC. Do you do that when you're making the contact or in the logbook?
In the logbook.
Okay, and then
when you enter with the ARRL.
All right, and then who do you send it to at the ARRL?
What I'll do is I'll add that to the PowerPoint for the home operators, and you'll be able to. I did check out the score sheet. I don't think they've got it modified yet to catch up with their rules, but I'll send you guys that link.
Okay, super. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Question: is anybody bringing pop-up shelters?
I plan on bringing one. I don't know how badly damaged it was from the last event because of the wind, but if it's doable, I'll bring it.
I have 2 that we set up, and I think I had 2 or.
You had 3 last year.
Maybe
yeah,
3.
well, one of them was mine, so I can bring. I've got 2 now.
Okay.
I should be bringing one.
I can bring some too.
Yeah, because it's supposed to be up near 90 or so.
Well, we just hook them together and make a giant shade thing and kitchen in the middle. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, because I don't need mine at the trailer, so we'll use them in the tent at the kitchen area.
Cool.
I got a couple of bucket fans I can bring with misters, so if people need to cool off, I'll bring them.
Oh, also, I want to remind everybody, you probably already have it, if you're bringing a trailer, a vehicle, and you're camping, please bring a fire extinguisher. Just because.
Just because.
Yep. Because if you do, nothing will happen.
Yes, you won't need it.
You won't need it.
Question for Jason.
Yes.
Are you going to have like a script like we did for Winter Field Day?
I think so. I haven't gotten that far yet, but it is simpler. It is simpler than Field Day. So our exchange is, it's going to be the club call sign. That's all you got to say. It's the club call sign. And then we're going to be we have, I said 8 radios, so we're going to be an 8 alpha. And you don't really need to know anything else because you'll be getting that back. Last time it was kind of confusing because we needed to capture their ARRL section area, and a lot of people didn't know that. So there's a little bit more things to do. This one should be straightforward. And what I probably recommend...
We need the ARRL section.
Within the East Bay.
Right. So what you do on the exchange...
Yes.
You give them your information. So we'll be Whiskey 6, Victor, Victor, Romeo, 8 Alpha, Echo Bravo. And then they'll say QSL, and then they'll say, please copy, and then they'll read you their information, and you copy that down. So it's a pretty simple exchange.
And with Winter Field Day, it's not as big as this sponsored by the league one. So a lot of people we were making contacts to, I was afraid they would have no idea what their section number is, and how would we know? So that's kind of why I needed to give extra packets or paper. But I should have some leftover paper logs for people. And then, might be a great idea just to grab a notepad, because in our driver's meeting, and we'll have some things posted to remind everyone what our class and category will be. And also maybe make a jot down on your scratch paper what band and what time your slot is. We'll try to mind our pints and quarts with that.
Are you guys starting at 11 o'clock a.m.?
Yes.
Yeah, that's when it opens.
As long as we're ready.
Last year we said we had the meeting at about 5 minutes to 11. Everybody ran to their radios, and then Frank said, lunch is ready. So you know where everybody went.
Yeah, speaking of that, I'm going to be making breakfast Sunday morning. So the folks that are going to be coming Sunday morning, if we have some kind of a list, it'd be helpful. At least so I have a count, so I know how much pancakes, bacon, eggs, all that stuff to bring for the morning.
Cool. So right now I'm thumbing through ARL's website. When times like this come around, there's all the kind of links and places for you to submit your log, and I mean there's a lot of good information. I think a lot of us probably pay our $50 a year. We barely read the magazine and we forget all the information on the website. So we do got some time on our hands to kind of do some self-study. And if you're retired, you have no excuses.
Oh, come on now.
Because I work 10 hours, drive 2 hours, and a young family.
And you're a young man.
Yep, and you're awesome.
That's it? Only that much of a drive time?
Question.
Yes.
If you work CW for some of them and you work, just say, phone for the others, do you get double points on the CW and regular points on the phone? Or do you have to do the whole thing all in one?
You can mix and match any way you want. So you'll get 2 points for every CW contact and 1 point for every phone contact. And then when we all stay within the emergency power under 150 watts, we total up the points and multiply it by 2. Okay. So yeah, you can switch bands. You can, if you got 6 meters, you can do 10. I mean, it doesn't really matter as long as you keep track of what band you're on and what mode you're on.
Roger.
Does anybody have any questions with the parking? Let me bring that up again here. So there is our parking. We're gonna do visitors here, and if it gets too full, then we'll probably redirect. Antennas on the outside. Food is in the center. Be prepared for heat. Kevin, is there generator hours?
No, most of that stuff is. Am I on? I don't know if I unmuted my mic. Anyways.
You sound good, Kevin. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if it was on. No, not really. We get long as those little quiet generators are fine, and we're using shore power for the kitchen lights, the safety, all the safety stuff is offshore power, so don't have to worry about that. And then the internet connection, all that stuff is all shore power. And if you want to use your little Honda or whatever it is, inverter, the quiet ones, yeah, go ahead and use them. Yep, not a problem. We had no problem last year with it. Nobody even, matter of fact, the neighbors thought it was really cool.
That's a good point. With all contests I've ever done, you can use shore power, regular old main AC, to run your laptop that is doing your logging. So, for us in the field, maybe we're close enough to a cord and we want to, do that. Normally I bring a laptop, but I'm thinking about bringing the big computer. I don't know. I'm a little bit worried about all the dust. But I do plan to go live from location.
Where are you located? Oh, you're way over there. Okay.
Are you in need of any spider boxes there, Kevin?
We have. I think I have enough spider box. I have like 600 feet of a temporary power cable, but we're not going to allow any of the rigs to connect to shore power, because you cannot turn your air conditioner on offshore power. Shore power is there for the lighting, the internet, and emergency purposes, not to run your air conditioner, not to run your radios, and not to charge the batteries for your radios. That's part of the deal. You got to be on solar, battery power, or generator on your radio stuff. So to answer your questions, I don't think so, Cliff. We will need. It'd be nice if that Friday we're dragging out that power, because I literally pull out. It takes me 300 feet just to get out there, and normally I put. I don't have to see that. Normally, Jason, you were closer to the corner, because Jason, that's further than 300 feet. So we're gonna need because we're not. I don't want the YouTube stuff to go wireless. We want it wired. So I'll run the 300-foot high-speed cable out there. Then we got to put a high-speed switch and reclock it so we can go the rest of the distance. And if somebody has a high-speed wireless access point they'd like to bring and set up for us, we can plug it in and set it up and put the name on it as VVRC Field Day, and give people the code when they come in to use it. If somebody would like,
I got one.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah, I've got a pretty new one.
You making a list, Bob?
And we'll just set. Well, Jason, I don't know who's in the corner, who's in the southeast corner over by the trees. I don't remember. Whose trailer is that?
That is Arthur.
Okay, because maybe.
Well, I was thinking about going there, but then he said he's got a 14-foot trailer.
Yeah, I know. I'm just trying to figure out. We need to set something up over there to put our have a power distro, the internet connection, and the wireless access point should be there.
Are you watching on YouTube?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I have it up on YouTube. All right. So you're saying where I was last year is kind of a pretty important spot as far as connectability.
Yeah. What it does is it puts you, if you take your cursor, your pointer, and go just straight to right there. That is 300 feet, dude.
Yeah.
Right there. So, and if you stop the cursor at the back of that building.
Yeah.
And go up, and the internet, the switch or the modem is in that building.
Okay.
In a 300-foot spool of cable, a brand new. We have some Cat 6A, gets you to that out there around close to there. Otherwise, we'll have to put it into a switch, reclock it, and then send it out to run another. I have the cable. I don't have a problem. I just want to make sure that whatever switch we put out there, because I'll plug you guys right into the back of the Comcast modem, so we're not going through any of my junk, and then we'll take it directly to out to the field, and then you guys Bob can bring his wireless access point, and I can get you a cable over to your location in the middle if that's what you'd rather do. Because I can easily get you a power box right there by Art's trailer, and then we'll bring another one and put it over there in the middle behind Jason's trailer, and that's kind of where the power is going to be.
Okay. All right. So then I'll probably redo this map a little bit to get me in this corner. I thought I remembered something like that vaguely. And then I think Cliff, he said that it's a truck, not an RV.
Yes,
Correct.
he did.
Okay.
Yeah, Ford pickup.
Yep.
Full size.
So
Yeah, with a pop-up also.
were you going to stay connected, Bob Hawkins, to your trailer?
Yeah, that was the plan. But I think there's room right there to do that, right behind Doug.
Okay. I know, but I'm just kind of like questioning everybody's placement now. it's
well, Doug
man.
and I are actually in the same spot we were last year, so
Jason,
and then
I'm sorry to interrupt. We don't need to reinvent the wheel. This is what we need to do. Between now and then, come over here and we'll just take the cable and the switches we're going to use. Let's configure them and test them in here in the shop before that Friday. Know that they work, and we have the cable to get you out to your location. We'll just have a switch with power right there by Cliff and Art's at the corner where Cliff and Art is at. That'll be fine.
Okay.
So, yeah, and so my wireless access point has a 4-bay switch built in.
Yeah,
if you wanted to put it right there, and then you could just run another wire from that over. It's a gigabit router, so you can run over to Jason.
Yeah, we can. That would be great. And then Jason can plug into his switch and plug all his junk in.
Because that should be less than 100 feet off of that Wi-Fi router, right?
It's less than about 150. That's okay. I have 150, and I have 50, 100, and 300 foot reels, tons of it. So that's fine. We just gotta keep it under 300 feet, so those off the shelf switches will do it. That's all.
Cool. Well, all right.
There's a question in the chat, Jason. Said, would I be a Class B station, 100 watts on battery power? And the specifics are a little confusing. So if you're running from home on a battery, you'd be a Class E Echo. If you're running with us, you'll be part of the Class A Alpha. I just wanted to catch that before you.
Yeah, that's Brian up there in Woodland, the Woodland Kid. So I'm going to paste the Zoom because we're coming to the end, but I just want to give an opportunity if there's more questions or other people's got some other juices flowing. 300 foot of Cat 6. Mike's going to bed. So there's Zoom if anybody else wants to jump in as we wind tonight's June meeting down. Cat 5 or Cat 6, Mike wants to know. Mike, where are you? He must be doing other things tonight. No, not. I'm looking for Mike Webb. That's confusing because there's several Mikes here.
Yeah.
I'm wondering
geek,
where
right?
the geek
You're looking
is.
for the geek?
I actually said this is field day related, something I want to bring up in visit. Down the road, do we want to see about getting those nice, wonderful multiplexers so that it kind of helps everybody not stomping on everybody?
Oh, filters and triplexers?
Yeah, that'd be like a quadplexer that did like 10 to 40 meter, and then one for the low bands.
I just priced those today. I was looking those up for 20, 40, let's see, 10, 20, and 40 meters.
Mm-hmm.
They were for the whole group. The combiner and the three filters was $700 from one of the radio stores online.
DX, so I know DX carries the low band systems. As I'm looking at their quad, which is 40, 20, 15, and 10, it's $320. That's the combiner unit. And then you have the individual filters for each radio, which would be, okay, this radio's on this band, this radio's on that band, et cetera, et cetera.
It was made to take 3 different radios and hook them to one multi-band dipole or beam. So that's what that is.
Yep.
And then the other way to do it is build your own filter, like a coax trap or a coax notch filter or a coax bandpass filter, just out of a length of quarter wave or half wave coax, and you can say you're on 20 meters, you can filter out everything below you and everything above you if you make your own coax trap. And that's true for 80, 40, 20, and 10. You can just bring 4 coax cables and a T, just a B and C T, and a length of coax cable, and you can adjust these ahead of time at home, and you can make your own notch filter or bandpass filter. I'd suggest a bandpass filter.
Well, that's what you do. Is you on the radio, you have the individual band box, and then you have the combiner on. It goes to the combiner and then onto the antenna.
I have a question for Bruce.
Yes.
Are you when you talk about bandpass, are you talking about for example, inside the 40 meter band, you got somebody jamming away on the CW on the low end side. Then you got somebody up at 7250 jabbering away on sideband. So are you suggesting somebody might say, well, I'll make a bandpass filter for 40 meters for like 7150 to 7300 so he can use it there, and then another person makes one for the bottom ends from 7,000 to 7,150, so he can do CW.
Okay.
Is that what you're saying?
No, mine was much simpler. It's just the 40 meter band will pass all the 40 meter band, and you guys on 20 and 80 and 10 and 15 won't even bug me. It'll pass 40 meters. But if you buy another piece of equipment that we haven't even mentioned tonight called a pre-selector, you can put a pre-selector in front of your radio and get that tuning really tight on your radio so that you don't hear the guy next to you, above you, or below you. But now we're getting expensive now. Yeah. Pre-selectors, triplexers, combiners. The thing I was talking about is 20, 30, 40, 50 feet of coax, and you trim it for your filter, and then it'll knock out everybody below you and everybody above you, and you just put that on for 40 meters, say, and then you won't hear the guy next to you on 20. That is a sharp... There's a pre-selector, it looks like. Jason, where did you get that picture, that overhead picture? It's so sharp and vivid of the field day site.
This here?
Yeah, the field day picture is very clear.
I have special access to some satellites.
Oh, okay.
No, this was last year when I was flying the drone around.
Oh, okay, it's a drone.
I photoshopped out the trailers.
So... Anyhow, even these they're actually called stub filters. And these stub filters can actually knock out unwanted signals on 2 meters or 440 and just selectively let your radio tune in the band you want to listen to. So I know it's kind of late to... Yeah, there's some stub filters there. They're typically... made of coax. The second row down,
Excuse me.
second row down, the T connectors and those funny looking charts with all the dips. Those are stub circuits, and you can make them out of coax. And I'm surprised Kevin hasn't had a meeting about these filters yet, because Kevin and I have both studied them and made them, but we just haven't brought it up for the field day uses yet, which is the absolute perfect use for these filters that are.
Yeah, he's right.
Super.
What's this
duper.
about a build party for stub filters?
Well, that's just one kind of filter.
Yeah.
There's a stub filter, and then there's a one-pole coil cap, called a T filter, and on and on and on. You've opened up a can of worms with me. It's one of my favorite things to talk about. But back to you guys. I don't want to steal this meeting.
Hey, no, not a problem. When you guys talk, I just start Googling. I mean, that's the only way I figured all this out in 3 years.
There's a T filter, a cap, and a coil to ground next to that. That's a T filter.
Naturally.
And that's a little bit more advanced. But a stub-tuned coax cable filter is extremely effective.
Yep.
Very cheap to make. And you just have to either short... Well, I'm getting too long-winded here. You either short the open end to be a dead short for different band pass situations, or you leave the end open if you want to notch. So you can have a combination of two stub filters, notch out the guy below me with an open cable, and band pass my signal with a shorted cable. I know it sounds weird. Why would you ever install a shorted cable to your radio? Well, because they resonate and they make filters. They either pass the signal or reject the signal, and they do not short out your radio.
Thing about that MFJ thing you put up there, Jason, a pre-selector, that's on your receive only. And I don't know, I didn't see it on that model, if it has a automatic switch in there that when you starts transmitting, it allows you to transmit. So that one would be a pre-selector on your receive, but it doesn't do anything. It doesn't do anything on the transmit side at all. So the filters that Bruce is talking about, if you're transmitting on 40 meters and you've put the filters on there to notch out 20 meters, I mean, their harmonics are getting killed coming into your system, and any harmonics that you might be generating that might make it to 20 meters, they're getting killed on the transmit side too. So I think that's a great thing, Bruce. Don't have time between now and this field day, but that's a great thing to do, is build some of those and put up on the screen and start cutting the thing and showing people, hey, look, here we got it notched right where we want it, and you just put the T in there, your 100-watt radio, and you're good to go. We did that. I did that on some VHF stuff. Had some old funky walkie-talkies, and we made a repeater in our van, and we used those quarter wave stubs and T's to get the things to behave, because we didn't have any money. We had coax though.
Upcoming subject for the meeting.
Yep.
How to make a field day passive filter so that you don't blow out the guy's radio next to you and he doesn't blow you out, and you can hear weak signals very clearly and notch out everybody else around you. It's just like putting headphones on to one band that you want to listen to, and then everybody else is shorted out. They're blanked out by a filter.
Another thing that kind of dawned on me as we were talking a bit is we could kind of do like at work we do a lot of lockout, tag out type stuff. So in other words, we could almost have a token, and you can come and take a token for a band, and it's yours. And if you come to the table and the token's not there, then you got to go talk to the person with the token and see if you can take the baton Obviously, we can have a schedule, but a lot of times, the schedule is fairly loose, or something changes, or people start talking. So that could be entertaining. Just having a token, and if you don't have a token, I might even have poker chips. We could use a poker chip and write 20, 40, 80. And if you don't have a token, please do not operate on that band.
It's a good idea. Can we have tokens for hot dogs?
Yeah. Door prizes.
Yeah, I want those.
Maybe I'll make some pancakes the size of tokens.
Oh, cool. Now you guys are talking. Cool. Well, anything else you guys want to go over? I mean, we got a couple other folks that showed up and didn't.
Here's a token.
Even you don't either didn't have anything to say, don't want to talk, but we want to invite you in to share if you'd like to. If you don't want to, that's okay too, because we might just be. Sometimes I look at the YouTube numbers, and so far we've only put two to three people to sleep, so that's not too bad.
Hey, just an aside, guys. It's probably going to be perfectly okay, but we ought to just watch the weather just in case we need a backup plan, over the next week or two, just in case something funny happens.
The weather, I'm there no matter what. The earth can be trembling.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm talking about covering, protecting equipment, all that kind of stuff. Putting up antennas in the mud. I mean, it could happen. You know what I mean?
The mud?
I'm just going to go into my house. What are you guys talking
Yeah,
about?
we're all going to go into Kevin's house.
Okay. We can jump in the pool to clean off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I said we got 9 people camping, but technically there's 10, because Kevin just camps in his house.
Yeah, man. I stayed out there till like one in the morning, man.
Yeah.
I hung out. Then I looked out the window at like 2:30. What did I see? I saw Brian making contacts, man. The dude had his blanket over, his little night light, and he was jamming, man. I told my wife, I said, Brian is the man. He's doing it.
He sure was.
And Brian, you brought your ute with you too.
Yep, and I'll have it again.
Yep, they were doing good. So there you go, folks. Brian's he come out, and if you show up at 2 a.m,
I'll be on the air.
He'll be on the air. Yep.
With these comfortable headset. Not a Heil. It's a Sennheiser, actually. It's their Pro Series that they use for commercial. Jason, you've probably seen it from watching any of the MotoGP and or various other motorcycle races that have been broadcast. It's the same ones.
Ah, very cool.
Yep.
All right. Well, anyways, anybody else? Any more people in the chat?
Gentlemen, have a good evening.
Thank you,
Hey,
Ed.
Ed. Oh, yeah, Ed's just going to say goodnight?
Yep.
I'm gonna cut out.
Good night, Ed.
Bye.
Yep.
Yeah, I got to bail too.
Okay, all right. Cliff's going to bail? All right.
See you later.
All right.
Oh, before
too.
Cliff bailed. Oh, he hasn't bailed yet. Cliff loaned me an RF current meter to clip over the coax, and I'm going to try to have. I don't know how it's going to work out. I'm going to try to have a long wire antenna and just a couple of goofy things set up that we can just maybe play with. And I don't know if we're going to get to transmit. We're going to have so many antennas out there, but we can walk around with the current meter and the MFJ and the rig expert, and I can check. We can just, hey, that's what we'll do. We'll check a few antennas in use, and we'll plot them and go, what does this look like? And then we'll clamp the current meter on there and go, how much common mode's coming back to your radio through the shield? What do you think, Bruce? Pretty fun.
I can be your RF feedback guy. I mean, I'll measure your signal over here on my scale.
All right.
You say this is antenna A, B, or C, and I'll say the first one was S9, the second one was S8, and the last one was 10 over.
And then we'll use the meter to see if the actually a great example of that was Nick. What? Not Nick. Oh, geez. Sal. I forgot Sal's call, Jason. But anyways, he just set up his station and he's got his mic and his little mixer, this thing here, and it sounds really. He's got it really working well. And then he tells me, says, "Yeah, I clamped on like 4 of those Type 31 beads on the coming out here and here on my car." He's got them because he's using an off-center fed dipole, Bruce, and he's running about 500 or 600 watts, and there's so much common mode coming back on that coax. Those ferrites, man, he said they're getting warm, like warm to the touch. I'm like, whoa, dude. So that'd be a fun thing to do. There's the actual camping.
Yes, here is last year.
That's cool. So I think the way you got it set up this year is a little cleaner.
Yeah, I'm trying to push everyone closer, get more room behind us, because this pile of dirt is still here, right, Kevin?
Yeah, it's cleaned up a little bit more. It's a little more. It's still there, but not as bad as it was.
And then, so last year, I had tremendous tripping hazards. There was this trailer with very large guide wires going on. And there's Doug and Bob. There's Brian.
Yeah, meet on 6 meters.
Very, very good to get the antennas behind everybody. That would be great.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Yeah. Hey, well, I'm going to cut out of here, guys. Enjoy the rest of the night.
Okay.
Me too. 7-3, everybody. Thanks for a great meeting. Enjoyed it.
7-3.
All right, I'll look into that logging software, Bob and Jason, and see which one I like better.
Yeah,
All right,
I mean,
cool.
it would really just clean up your act, Bruce. I mean, look at all of this.
That's my logging hardware there. No software involved.
Yeah. Bruce makes so many contacts, there is no way anybody could type that fast.
Oh, sure.
No, hey, trust, there is no way you can keep up. When you're on a roll, you're on a roll.
I need an assistant like you, Bob, that first year.
Yeah, that was fun, man. I learned a ton.
Somebody call and
address that right now. Bruce, I know you say you got things to do, but you are the happening dude. You make contacts faster than Speedy Gonzalez, faster than the Roadrunner, and we got to have people sitting next to you to keep track of this. So, with that said, I really think it would be the right thing for you to do to dump whoever you're going to be with and come to field day.
Yeah. That'll end up in divorce court.
Yeah, really. You don't.
Here's Brian, and the timestamp is 22:12. So 10:12 at night. Here's Brian.
Yep.
Taking care of business for us.
That's before he put his
blanket on.
His camouflage
Actually, scroll. Notice how I have the scope set up on the laptop. I don't have it in waterfall mode. Scroll down a little more. Scroll down. There, you can see right there. See how the PSK peaks better?
Oh yeah, that's in spectrum analyzer mode.
I actually purposely use it that way because it's easy to see the peaks.
And do it up there because you got all the information.
All right. Well, good night, folks. Great meeting.
Bring your flashlights. Bring your LED lights.
Yep.
Look, there's the party tent. Yeah.
That looks
take off now.
That
Thanks
looks very. That looks very inviting. That tent.
Yeah.
Here's Kevin. I want to do a lot less this year. This was a lot.
Looks like a cabana.
Well, we need to.
We'll talk more.
Tell you what. If you bring your computer, I will help you, and we will not. Well, You don't have to bring your mixer. We'll do something. Okay.
Well, even just a USB mic could be all we need. Because last year I thought, let me get the radio. Let me get the radio into the mixer, but I never did that.
Yeah, well, we'll figure out what you want to do. Tell me what you want to do, and we'll do it.
Yeah.
I have an adapter here somewhere.
Cool.
Yep.
Well, all right. I think that about wraps it up for me. If anyone has any last thoughts or comments, Brian just gave me the pull chocks.
All right, man.
Full of chalks. Let's get it rolling. And tape and paint, I will make sure it kind of accidentally falls on somebody's doorstep here within the next 4 days.
Very cool.
It'll be really awesome paint color. Alrighty, I am out of here. You guys have a good one.
All right, guys. Take care. Good night. I'm going to hit the end stream. Thanks, everyone, for watching. This was the Vaca Valley Radio Club meeting. Next month, we should be in person. I'm looking forward to that.
Yay.
But first, we've got to take care of Field Day.
Yes.
And that should be a lot of fun. So, 7-3, everyone.
73.
7 threes.